Welcome Average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. Fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Fantasy football talk, hateful eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down, Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli, hold it down. Pulling up to LB Design Studio, we're getting loud. Season 2, headphones on, red light go, break it down.
Welcome back to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast with your host. I'm Pickle, and with me as always, Blackburn.
What it do?
And Trimboli.
What's up?
All right. This week, we will be discussing the rest of the Week 5 games and getting your lineups ready as we always do. As always, don't forget to follow the show's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. Now on to the Week 5, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Weekly starts and sits, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, Week 5, the good, the bad, the ugly, presented by Stat Route. Dominate your league. Get the stats used by the pros, any stat, any player, any team available in under 5 seconds. Head over to statroute.com and use the promo code HATEFULFF for 25% off your yearly subscription. So, Week 5 games. Who had the 1 o'clock games?
This guy.
This guy. All right, what you got?
This is my potential shootout of the week. It's Falcons at the Steelers.
This is true.
Big Ben plays good at home. I don't know. My good for this week is Calvin Ridley. Obviously, you're going to play Julio and, whatever. But so Calvin Ridley, in weeks 2 through 4, he's had 15 catches, 264 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's averaging 20.4 points per game. Matt Ryan is favoring him a lot. And Pittsburgh is ranked 30th against wide receivers, so almost last.
Yeah.
Like I said, could be a shootout game here.
Yep.
I like it. I mean, he's lining up more and more as the wide receiver 3, which in theory most teams don't go 3 deep at corner. It's
Right.
talent-wise.
Right.
I mean, they were in a shootout last week with Cincinnati. I think it's going to be the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Julio played a great game. Even Sanu had a good game, but Ridley, he's still out there doing his thing. So I like Calvin Ridley, and he's probably in deeper leagues he's taken, but a lot of the shorter leagues, he's probably still available on your waiver wire.
Right.
My bad for this week is Tevin Coleman. There's questions that Devontae Freeman could play this week, or that they hope he could play this week. But even so, he's got 54 rushing attempts for only 210 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, and as we saw last week, Ito Smith has started to play a little bit more.
Yes.
And I think they're trying to get him acclimated as well. So
Right. He's only averaging, 13 points isn't bad, but I don't know. With the game script of this game, I think it's going to be more pass-heavy to the wide receivers, and Pittsburgh's ranked 4th against running backs.
Well, and the thing is, with how much points were put on the board for Atlanta Falcons to only have 13 fantasy points for the main running back, I mean, Ito Smith got the touchdown out of it
Right.
So
It's
I agree with you.
It's the year of the wide receiver,
Yep.
like you said.
True.
My ugly for this week is Vance McDonald. 12 catches, 200 yards, 1 touchdown. All the attention goes to the wide receivers, so I think he can get overlooked a little bit. And he's made some big plays. He's averaging 13 points a game, and Atlanta's middle of the road.
Right.
They're 19th against tight ends.
Right. Well, since their injury with Jones and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy, their other linebacker safety hybrid guy that went out.
Keanu O'Neal.
Yeah, they've both the defense is kind of falling apart. I mean, it's crazy to think that those two guys were such. I mean, you knew they were good, but that they were removed, and how quickly the Atlanta defense has been kind of just thrown to the side.
Those are Pro Bowl type players that are gone. So
I just think it's crazy how well Matt Ryan's playing.
yeah, well,
He's a must start now.
He's surrounded by weapons.
He's finally utilizing them.
Yeah,
This is also true, and I think Sarkisian's finally getting maybe a little bit of the light bulb went off
Well,
as to how to be successful with that type of offense.
Well, and I wonder now it's second year under this offense. Maybe the first year was just learning it. Now it's boom, we have it. Let's execute it.
that, and last year there was an emphasis placed on running backs a lot. This year we've seen it's more pass heavy.
True.
Yeah.
Which Matt Ryan succeeded at 2 years ago, or whenever they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
True.
And I think that the fact that Calvin Ridley has started to emerge has been helpful for the receiving game, and it's not just Julio.
Well, even Sanu is
Right. All of them.
playing lights out.
Right. So, but yeah, I agree with you, and I think that Vance McDonald, he's kind of reminding you of like Keith Miller, previous tight end for the Steelers. I mean, he's just kind of he's not flashy. He's not like an exciting athletic abilities where he's going to outrun somebody, kind of like a O.J. Howard, where he's just like a wide receiver but really plays the tight end position. I mean, he's just an old school type tight end that's going to put his hand on the ground and block you if he needs to, but also be able to run down the field and catch the ball, and apparently stiff arm people as well. So
That was still awesome. I love that.
but I agree with you. I like that.
He makes players retire.
Yeah.
Done.
You're done.
Anywho, next game, Ravens at Browns. It's a good old rivalry game here.
Are they playing against each other? Because isn't the Ravens the old Browns versus the new Browns?
True story.
So
Who knows?
But my good for this one, and finally, I think Alex Collins is going to have a good game this week.
yeah,
I think that Baltimore is going to be up big because their offense is just soaring right now, and I think they could use him to run the clock out. He's only averaging 12 points per game. I know a lot of people had high hopes for Alex Collins, but play him this week, I think he's going to do well. Cleveland's ranked 23rd against running back, so they're toward the bottom.
yeah.
My bad for this week. Oh, you guys got something on that?
No, I don't know who you have in the rest of so I'll be quiet till you're done with your other guys.
Pickle, be quiet.
My bad, David Njoku. I put bust next to his name because that's what he's been so far.
Unfortunately.
In 4 games, he's got 14 catches, only 121 yards, and a fat goose egg for touchdowns.
Man, that's a lot of touchdowns.
6.5 points per game. He's not the red zone thought that we thought. Baltimore's got a good defense. They're ranked 8th against tight ends.
Yeah.
And my ugly this week, this guy who came on strong, is John Brown.
So that's why I held my tongue.
15 catches, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's their deep threat guy. He's averaging 18 points a game. Cleveland's 14th against wide receivers, but I like John Brown a lot in this game.
I love John Brown.
Yeah.
I just crazy to me how bringing in a few actual legit wide receivers has helped the Flacco being a quarterback.
Well, we knew he could air it out. He just didn't have the. And Hayden Hurst is supposed to make an appearance this game.
Yeah.
On his comeback.
So I'm excited. I mean, the fact that John Brown has done what he's done, and I mean, he literally is the legit deep threat and keeps the defense against them honest, and it's not just Crabtree having to be the guy, which is nice.
And it's not hit and miss. I mean, he's averaging 18 points a game. That's pretty good.
Right.
So
Because a lot of people didn't have him on the radar.
no.
I'd watch what comes out of camp or practice this week with Collins, just because he did fumble on the goal line, and I know Harbaugh's not happy about that.
I know.
So just make sure. But no, I agree with you. He is a good play this week because he should have a ton of volume. As long as Harbaugh's going to stick with him, he's a great play.
I like the running back situation in general, either one of them to play this week.
Yeah, I almost put slash Buck
Right,
Allen.
Right.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I was high on Alex Collins coming in this year. I think this could be a game where he has a decent.
Oh yeah, I mean he seems to be still the red zone threat, obviously. So,
But next game, Broncos at the Jets. My good for this one is wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders.
yep,
Dude, he's blowing up.
he is.
24 catches, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 20 points a game. Demaryius Thomas, the number 1 wide receiver, is only averaging 10 points a game. It's Case Keenum's favorite target.
He's the Thielen of the West.
He is. And Jets are 22nd against wide receiver, so they're near the bottom.
Keelan has that loving feeling.
Oh,
Right.
snap.
Oh man.
Bad for this week is Robbie Anderson.
Yes.
Some guy that we thought we were kind of high on at the beginning of the year. He's kind of like fell off.
And Nunwa's become the main guy in
Right.
that receiving game.
Well, Darnold at quarterback, that's going to stay that way.
Yeah.
He's only got 8 catches on the year for 108 yards and 1 touchdown. That was, I think, week 1 or 2
Yeah.
when he had that long touchdown pass.
And I think Nunwa was not in the game that week.
Right. And
So
I got Darnold favors and then I mean, he does. So,
Well, put
it's
this
the
way.
truth.
If you have still rostering Anderson, that's a mistake.
Yes.
he needs to be dropped.
Yep, dropped.
Yeah, he's not been even close to being relevant. So
Nope. He's name only right now.
Right. My ugly for this week is Phillip Lindsay.
Mhm.
I almost put slash Freeman because they're both, I mean, it just depends on who gets the touchdown. Last week they both had touchdowns.
right.
13 points a game. I like his catching ability better than Royce Freeman. And Packers are 15th against the run, so they're middle, or not Packers, but Jets, so they're middle of the road. I just like Lindsay's upside more.
Prior to the game this week, Lindsey had the receiving touchdown for the backfield, and Royce had the running touchdown. So now they both are they still are scoring both. That's the thing. They're both scoring. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but you're playing either one of them. You're hoping for the touch to be the one that they get the touchdown. But I think Lindsey still is seeing more opportunity / volume than Royce Freeman does.
You just wish Booker wasn't even in the mix.
Right?
And then both those two would be good plays every week.
Then maybe you get like a James White, Sony Michel, Alvin Kamara, Ingram, something.
My last game is Packers at Lions. My good this week's Kenny Galladay.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 18 points a game. I think this one could be another shootout because both defenses are kind of
We need a South Park drop for Kenny Galladay. Kenny, come here.
Believe it or not, Galladay is outshining Marvin Jones, who a lot of people drafted a lot higher
True.
than Galladay. And Green Bay is 12th against wide receivers. Tate's up there too.
Yeah.
My bad for this week is Geronimo Allison. I know he's having a decent year, but Cobb's probably going to come back this week. And I just think there's too many mouths to feed with all of them to play Geronimo on a consistent basis like that.
Yeah.
Then you don't know what to expect with Geronimo coming off the concussion, so
True.
I agree.
My ugly for this week is Aaron Jones.
Yes, sir.
Rodgers stated that he wanted Aaron Jones on the field, and he produced last week.
When the GOAT says you're playing, you're playing.
Right, and based on matchups alone, Detroit's 29th against running backs.
Just that's how Zeke did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Even if he could sniff half of that, that's great.
Yeah. That's my games, fellas.
I wonder if they're going to start doing State Farm commercials together.
Rodgers!
I want Aaron Jones.
Double check.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, when I heard Rodgers make the comment at the end of one of the practices saying, I want Aaron Jones on the field, I'm like, Aaron Jones is going to be playing this week.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever came out and said that he needs a running back on the field.
No.
Or wants one.
Yeah.
I mean, and Aaron Jones looked good. So, I still think that he was the guy to have. It was just you had to hold on to him for a couple games without playing.
Yep.
Right.
All right, what you got?
I got the next set of games.
The 4 o'clocks.
Oh, yeah. The next ones are Jacksonville and Kansas City. Talk about polar opposite defenses.
Yes.
So, do you think this is the fall of Mahomes, or do you think he still climbs the hill?
I think he still climbs the hill because it's at Kansas City.
I'm just curious because I've heard both perspectives from different people.
I don't know. Listen,
They thought he was going to fall off last week.
And he did well.
Not you specifically. I pointed that direction like
No.
general gist. I've heard people say he should have fell off last week.
I'd still ride Mahomes.
He can throw farther than I can.
This is also true.
Okay.
Me too.
But you can throw farther than Andrew Luck.
True story.
Anyways.
Knowledge. Anyways, my good here is purely because Fournette's not going to play as TJ Yeldon.
Yeah.
That and Kansas City has been atrocious against the running backs. So
This is true.
what do they rank?
Well, we just said Royce
Almost
Freeman
last.
and Lindsey both scored a touchdown.
So he'll have too much volume. He'll be a good play. So my bad in this is Watkins.
Yeah.
Hamstring injury, and he's up and down all year. I don't expect much against Jacksonville at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
So
Let's say, are you concerned about Ramsey and Hill? That matchup. Are you concerned about Hill in this one for against Ramsey?
Hill could be down this year, but I just think there's too many weapons in general in Kansas City that they might spread them out a little bit this week.
Well, I could be wrong, but I would venture to say that Jalen Ramsey's probably going to be shadowing Hill. He's going to be moving all over the field with him.
Well, I think I think Kansas City's going to get creative this week and try to throw in some trick plays, a lot of screens, reverses, stuff like that to keep that defense moving.
If Kareem Hunt's volume or the way he was playing the first couple weeks was the same last week, I would have thought, okay, now I'm worried about Hill because Kareem Hunt has done nothing in the passing game. But now that he's part of the passing game, I think that helps Hill out.
True.
That and Hill's involvement in the running game could be scary alone.
So I mean, you really think about it. This is probably don't get me wrong. The Denver defense is a good defense, and they made Mahomes work for the points that he got. I mean, they didn't just give it to him easy. I mean, he was struggling for the first half, truthfully. But then he started he got a couple plays. And let's be honest, when Mahomes made that left-handed little flip, I mean, you knew that this guy is thinking on the fly quick, how quickly he's moving like that. I mean, what guy is going to sit there scrambling from a right-handed quarterback going to scramble to his left and then go and just flip it and let it go and know that it's all right.
He's a monster. Preseason, I said I wasn't sold on Mahomes. I'm sold on him now.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, he's an absolute monster.
Right. And like I said, and if this was at Jacksonville, this would be it'd be different. I think Mahomes could struggle more, but with it being in Kansas City, I still think he's gonna not pick apart Jacksonville's defense, but he's gonna do well enough to be still a top tier quarterback.
The thing about Mahomes is I think this is only his second game at home. All his games all but one's been on the road.
Right.
He played in Denver.
Jacksonville at home is tough.
Right, that is true. I mean, to go into Denver and win, that's a big one too. So
right. Anyways, my ugly is, and I think he's a good streamer this week, is Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
The Chiefs ranked 28th against the pass. Bortles shown that he can be a viable quarterback against certain defenses. This is one I think, especially with Fournette out, they're going to pass.
Yeah.
So we saw what they did against the Patriots with Fournette out.
Right.
He threw a lot.
Cole could be a good play this game too.
Yep.
I agree. So, all right.
All right, moving on to the game of the week for me, Miami at Cincinnati.
Oh.
All right. My good in this is Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
He leads the team in targets, reception, and yards. Listen, with just drew a blank now. Eifert out.
Yes.
Boyd's target load's even going to go up even more. So he's a good play. I think be honest with you, I think he's a solid play the rest of the year.
Okay.
So my bad is Kenyon Drake.
Oh, shocking.
He's been terrible this year, averaging only 3.2 yards per game. And then the last 2 weeks, his numbers are 8 attempts, 6 yards, 3 receptions, 20 yards, 0 TDs.
Let me ask you this. When does Gase and Tannehill to go ahead and decide to check into the Bellagio and just let him ride?
I don't know, man.
I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose. I mean, you're 3-1 now? You're not horribly set off, but Drake's not doing a whole lot. Gore's Gore. He's not doing anything outside of being efficient.
Tannehill's doing a lot of work.
Right. So I'm just saying, why not let Bellagio go out there and see what he can do? I mean, he can't be any worse than what you're seeing out of Kenyon Drake.
And this would be the week to do it because Cincinnati's not that great against the rush.
Right. That's my
against
point.
The running back, I mean. So, but listen, we said it last week. They were 3-0. The Patriots were going to come in. We thought the Patriots would just thump them again, and then we'd be back to the old Dolphins. Well, we're there now.
Right.
So
it's a matter of if they can pick themselves back up off of getting beat down by the Patriots and make or are they going to continue to trend down?
I just have a feeling that the Patriots are about to go on a rampage here.
Yep. They always seem to turn it on.
They start slow every year. The years they made the Super Bowl, they were 0-2. Like they start off slow. Now they're getting all their pieces back together, and they're just going to go on a run.
Because the longer Gordon's in that offense, the more he's going to pick up the playbook. Edelman's back now, should help out Gronk. James White seems to be balling out. Sony Michel's healthy. You got a good point.
Sorry, NFL.
Yeah. And then my ugly, I'm sorry if I butcher your name. It's Uzama or Uzama CJ, the tight end for.
I know you meant. I got you.
For Cincinnati.
I like Uzama.
I like Uzama too, but I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to get your name wrong. You can add us and tell us what the name is.
Right.
Add all of us. Just saying. Anyways, I know a lot of people are big on Tyler Kroft, but Uzma's seeing 70% of the snaps. Tyler Kroft's only seeing 27. Wow. Uzma's run 75 passing routes, and Tyler Kroft's only ran 25. Obviously, Uzma's gotten more receptions and targets, yards. Everything's just more for Uzma. I just think he'll be the guy that fills in that tight end one spot for the Bengals. So,
yeah, they got to have somebody out there.
Right. All right, moving on. We got the Giants and Carolina.
It's an interesting game.
All these games I kind of have are a little interesting to me. But anyways, my good is Sterling Shepard.
Yes.
Back-to-back weeks with a TD. He's seen his targets also increase. And with Ingram hurt, Shepard's a good play.
That's why his targets have increased.
Right. I'm going to jump the gun here. I'm going to go down to my ugly. It's Funches. Giants have basically shut down all wide receivers, but with Funches being really the only receiving option outside of CMC, I think the volume alone is enough for him to be a decent play this week.
Right.
And then for my bad, I'm going to give you a bunch of names here.
Oh, there's the list.
Barkley, OBJ, Sterling Shepard, Cam Newton, CMC, and Funches. You know what all those guys have in common? The only guys you're going to play in this matchup. That's it. Everyone else you sit. Across the board. I wouldn't say anyone else.
All right, fair enough.
So,
I like it.
No Eli, none of it. So,
no Cam.
Eli's been.
What's you talking about?
Cam.
Yeah, he put
Cam.
Okay.
So for Carolina, it's Cam, CMC, and Funches.
Okay.
And then for New York, it's Barkley, OBJ, and Shepard. I just don't think there's anyone else.
Fair enough. You're right.
So, I mean, I tried. I dug deep. I'm like, who else can we play here? Giants have got a pretty good defense. Carolina's defense has been pretty good.
Maybe Rhett Ellison in deeper leagues because you need a tight end. But, I mean, other than that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really searching. So.
Right, yeah.
But Carolina's coming off of a bye, so they're rested.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
and
a
it's
bad
at
situation.
Carolina.
Run,
So.
CMC.
Cam.
Yeah.
Cam.
All right, moving on. We got Tennessee at Buffalo.
All right.
My good here, I know he's been down, but he did blow up last week, was Corey Davis.
He did.
15 targets, 9 receptions, 161 yards, and a TD. I just think he's becoming more comfortable on LaFleur's offense, and Mariota's getting healthier. I just think he's going to be a good play. I think he could be a solid play the rest of the year, too.
Right.
My bad is LaShawn McCoy. Go figure, right?
Right.
Titans rank 4th against the run, and the Bills' offensive line and offenses, like Blackburn likes to say, hot garbage.
Yeah, good old quarterback came down to earth last week.
Yeah. I just think he balled out against the Vikings.
I think he caught the Vikings off guard.
They didn't, dude. Talk about a team that overlooked someone.
That was a classic overlook scenario.
It is what it
You
is.
see that in college
and
football, not in the
and everybody
NFL.
said that. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, well they lost to the Rams too." Okay, the Rams are the best offensive team in the NFC.
Yeah.
And you're not just going to roll in there and shut them down. They got too many weapons. They simply overlooked Buffalo.
Right.
True.
And they played well. Vikings played well against the Rams. Their offense put up a ton of points. Why couldn't they do that against Buffalo?
Right. I don't know.
Because they looked to the Rams.
I think they just got down early with the turnovers and then
on to L.A.
It was over.
So.
All right, my ugly, again, with Corey Davis playing well, I think Marcus Mariota will be a streaming option. Bills ranked 21st against the quarterback, too. So
Somebody has to throw him the ball.
yeah, go figure. Another week where you don't say play one Buffalo player.
Shocking.
Don't play Derrick Henry either.
No.
No. No.
He's
What do you get, like 18 carries for 50 yards or 60 yards?
I think that's been gracious.
They could get the fan out of row G to come down and play, and he'd be
Right?
better than Derrick Henry.
Is that what they do before the game?
Yeah.
Section 302 and
Please open
row
up your
H?
Cracker Jack boxes. If you got the football in it, you're playing today.
Right? If you've got a Titans jersey in your I can't even say it.
Cracker Jack box.
I want to say Cracker Bro.
Derrick Henry becomes your new cheerleaders over there.
Yeah, there you go. He's better on the sideline than he is on the field, so whatever.
God, so trash.
Well, Deion Lewis has been disappointing too.
Yeah, but he's better. Even though he's still been better than Henry.
Yes. Well, at least he's got value in a PPR standard.
Yes.
So maybe the Titans look for a newer offensive coordinator. Well, the offensive coordinator, I don't know if it's him or I don't know. We'll find out in the offseason if they keep him or not.
Last game I got, though, it's Oakland at the Chargers. My good is Jared Cook.
Yes.
Cook has been a favorite target of Carr's. He leads the team, in targets, reception, and yards. So with tight end being a premium, you got to take Cook. I think he's a safe start.
Yep. He's in the driver's seat of the car, and Gruden's in the back.
Right. I like that.
There you go.
No more.
He's driving them to victories.
He's not
How
at
about
Midas
that?
anymore. Getting
No, he's
oil lights not on.
Well, there might be some check engine lights, but as long as you hand it off to Beast
Using that
Mode,
synthetic oil so we can get a couple more miles.
High mileage.
Yeah.
high mileage.
Getting that high mileage.
Getting those tires changed too. Those puncture ones.
What about Martavius Bryant's drop?
Not even.
Did you see that?
Yeah. I mean,
Wide open.
Now, granted, he did try to. A car did short the throw a little bit. However, he put his hands on it,
Both
so
hands.
therefore he should have been there.
But he thinks too much. That's his problem.
Wow.
Wide open. I mean, it was like a 15-yard window between him and the defender, and he just.
That'd have been an insta cut.
Right.
Boom.
You go. He go. Anyways.
All right, my bad is the other tight ends for the Chargers. Virgil Green / Antonio Gates. They have not done anything to
Trash.
have fantasy value, so don't play them.
No.
They missed Hunter Henry.
Yeah. And I'm bucking the
R.I.P.
trend here, but my ugly is Amari Cooper.
Oh my.
I still think he's still the number one.
He had a good
receiver.
week last
Yeah,
week.
he's still the number one receiver in Oakland. And the Chargers are terrible against the pass. They rank 29th against wide receivers. I think Cooper's a fine play here.
Hey.
And Jordy.
Cooper, Jordy, and Cook all had great games. And if Martavius Bryant would have caught that ball and had that touchdown, all of their wide receivers / tight ends would have blown up last week.
I mean, let's be honest. Overall, the Oakland Raiders offense hasn't been horrible.
No, Lynch has actually been
The
serviceable.
defense can't stop anybody.
Very,
they're
very
terrible.
serviceable.
So
Well-
if they can get a few stops, I think the offense can either be even or ahead. Then that's better for that offense. However, when they're playing from behind, yes, that offense is not built to come from behind and win. I mean, come back from like a 10 to 14 point deficit.
Well, that's
in
what
the
happens
game.
when you give up the best pass
Yeah.
rusher.
Right. I'm just saying
when he's
overall.
getting sacks and strip sacks, for another team.
Right.
That's their problem.
Well, anyways,
Hey, but like Gruden said, it's hard to find a pass rusher in this
Yeah.
league.
it is.
Do you think
Especially
he
a
plays
Gruden.
that return of the Mac? Please
Yeah.
come back.
No, he also talks to tires in commercials, so that holds any water
Nails on the road to victory, but you got to get up.
with his New Balance shoes. Anyways, all right. Arizona versus San Francisco.
Yes.
The good in this one, David Johnson. And the only reason why I put this is because he has been struggling prior
Yes.
to last week. And I say he's good to go. San Francisco's rush defense is not the best. And they seem to be wanting to figure out how to use him in this subpar of an offense.
I like it. Football's better when he's good.
Right. The bad, either one of the defenses. That's what I put. Either one, because both of them are going to be trashes in this game. Honestly, I think that the offense for San Francisco is going to put points on the board. I think Arizona is going to put points on the board. So
I agree.
they ugly in this one, and this is only because of the coach or who the quarterback is.
Because the coach is ugly.
It's true.
Because Jimmy Handsome is gone.
Right. Ugly in this one, Ricky Seals-Jones, and that's because we finally saw him show back up once Rosen was the official quarterback. Finally, I think he just was sitting on the bench waiting until he took over because he knew that the glass house was getting ready to shatter. So
basically, Arizona just wasted $20 million this year.
Yes.
yeah. Do you know how much money that could have went to local families in Arizona to help people?
Or another receiver to help them.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
What? Anyways,
Sorry, family.
L.A.
We need
Rams.
fantasy points here.
Right. L.A. Rams versus Seattle. Now, this one's an interesting one because I don't understand. It's which Seattle offense we're going to get and which Rams defense are we going to see. So, to me, in this one, the good is Cooper Kupp, and he has been the staple in this receiving game. I know that Woods gets in there. Cooks had a good game.
They all get targets.
Right, but Cooper Kupp just seems to be the fan favorite for Jared Goff.
What about that Tyler Higbee, though?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? He had an injury.
He balled out.
He had an injury, so we'll mark it up to that. He sucked. Anyways.
Yeah, that was his injury.
That was. That was his crutch. He sucked. The bad in this one, Seattle's defense, because I think the LA Rams, as they have all year, are going to put a ton of points on the board.
Yeah.
And with no Earl Thomas back here.
Yeah.
And he let everyone know on that Seattle sideline they were number one.
No, he was trying to get. There was a gnat. That he
Oh,
was trying to
is
swat.
that
In the
what it
words of
was?
Ron Burgundy, stay classy. Jesus. That was
Well,
terrible.
Did you see Pete Carroll at his press conference?
No.
He scratched his head and he did it, but he had his middle finger up and he was like, and he paused for a second and then he went about his business.
Right. Shocking. There's no love lost for that group.
Well, no, I feel bad for Earl Thomas. I get what he was trying to do, but come on.
Okay, to me, maybe not the most professional thing, but I think the point was this. I mean, I know it's the middle finger, and it has a lot of different meanings for different situations, but I think in this specific situation, it was this is why I was holding out. And this is exactly what I did not want to happen because there's no money. I mean, he's still playing on the original contract that they wanted him to play on.
But most guys in the league an injury could happen to them.
Right.
That's what I don't like.
Did you see what Le'Veon Bell put on that post?
Yeah.
He had that. Was it the question with the rubbing of the chin emoji?
I'll
Was that the
continue
one?
to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
or
he said, sorry about this, man. He said, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'll continue to be the bad guy for all of us. Talking about getting hurt while you're wanting the money.
I mean, all these people are giving him a hard time about coming to playing and not holding out and being a team player. Well, he was a team player, and he broke his leg in week 4. And now what? And the sad thing is, he can actually still be franchise tagged by the Seattle Seahawks next year because he will not be active for 6 games. Or he has to be more active for more than 6.
Franchise tag.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I mean,
Welcome.
I think his time was done anyway because
Right.
the rumor that I was hearing was the Chiefs were getting ready to do a trade to acquire him.
Right.
But
Because of Eric Berry's injury or whatever.
So Earl Thomas would have stepped in, but he got hurt. So
Right. Sorry,
he was
Chiefs.
gone
Yeah.
anyway. Legion of Boom is gone. Seattle's defense is hot garbage.
Yeah, so is their offensive line. Minnesota. Oh, no, I didn't move on. Ugly in this one, Russell Wilson. And I just think it's because
Sierra don't think so.
He what?
I said Sierra doesn't think so.
Sierra doesn't think so?
That's his wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't pick up on that. My bad.
Or anyone in Wisconsin.
Now it's awkward. Anyways, Russell Wilson, I just think that the Rams offense is going to put a ton of points on the board. So, in fact, Russell Wilson's probably going to have to throw a ton.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
So, that's why it's ugly. Minnesota at Philadelphia. The good in this one, Alshon Jeffrey. Welcome back last week.
Yeah.
I think this is Minnesota's defense. They're coming back this week.
All right.
Bring it.
There you go. I just think that the opportunity with how quickly he picked back up and stepping in week 1 and doing so well. I know it was a different game defense-wise, but Minnesota's defense has struggled at times, and I just think that there's a good chance that being in Philadelphia, maybe this is a good chance for them. So
Well, with Carson Wentz at the quarterback, Jeffrey's always his favorite option. Him and Ertz. So
yeah,
that's what I said. And then when Wentz is in, Aguilar goes to the bench.
Right.
And basically he just disappears.
He has.
right.
Yeah.
I wanted to put Ertz in there, but I feel like everyone's playing Ertz.
Yeah. And especially now with tight ends being, hard to come by.
Right, they're a premium at this point. So, speaking of tight ends, bad this week, I've got Kyle Rudolph, and this is because of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator has been pretty successful in keeping Kyle Rudolph at little to no fantasy points. Now, I'm not saying don't bench him because obviously you drafted him to start him. I'm just telling you be very cautious because his average against Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator, 5 fantasy points.
Look at that stat route.
That route. Shout out to them on that one. Just saying.
I'm going to pencil him in for the meatball.
Right. So, and honestly, prior to this week's game, which Janu Smith for the Titans did not have any fantasy points, so I can go ahead and tell you that the Philadelphia Eagles have averaged around 4 fantasy points this year against the tight end.
Wow.
Through 4 games. So, sorry, Kyle Rudolph. And you average 5 against Jim Schwartz. So there's probably a good correlation with this. So
you're saying double down on
double
Kyle,
down.
right?
So, anyways, ugly Carson Wentz. Only because I have a feeling that Minnesota's, if they bring the offense that they've shown when they've been successful, I think that there's a good chance that Carson Wentz is going to have to play from behind and he's going to have to throw the ball.
Yep.
So, that's my pick in this one. Then the Dallas at Houston. So it's technically a home game for both teams in theory, but not really. So I never understand when you have the Dallas versus Houston or whatever. They're both in Texas. So, anyways, good Cole Beasley.
Geography.
Yeah.
Social
It's
studies.
like when Cincinnati plays the Browns. They're
Right.
both in Ohio.
Well,
Right.
in Ohio.
Dallas versus Houston. The good in this one, I got Cole Beasley, the true wide receiver one currently in the Dallas offense. He's the best wide receiver they've got. So, I don't know. I mean, Zeke's technically the best wide receiver they've got, but from the wide receiver position specifically, it's Cole Beasley. All 5'11" of him.
Potentially Dez is the best wide receiver they got.
Right. He's not even on the team right now.
Yeah.
So, but he's hanging out with Jerry.
Hey, he's doing Dez of Our Lives currently right now.
Right. Maybe he'll bring it back to Dallas for a local sitcom. The bad, Lamar Miller / Alfred Blue.
/ gold-covered turd.
Super hot garbage.
Dallas, outside of Chris Carson, does not give up a ton of rushing and or rushing touchdowns to running backs. So
when you get 32 attempts,
Yeah.
I mean, you should be doing something.
Man,
True.
Just think about that stench and that hot Dallas heat.
Right.
It's terrible.
Right. It's indoors, but whatever. The ugly in this one I've got is Jeff.
I mean, he does go outside. Never mind.
Gotcha. Never mind. Jeff Swaim, I put as the ugly, and that's only because as the team has continued to get better, has decided to use Zeke more over the last couple of weeks. Swaim decides apparently he's getting a lot more targets. Surprisingly enough, every week he's seeing more targets. So if you have to play a streaming tight end this week because maybe you had Tyler Eifert or Willie Dillsley.
Oh, Dilly.
This might be one that you pick up.
O.J. Howard. Yeah.
O.J. Howard. I mean, these are some guys. Those are key guys that you probably were starting that now you're going to your bench and your waivers and saying, "Oh gosh, who can I play?" Because I can't trade for said player A or B because Travis Kelce's had a great couple weeks now. I can't get that guy off of somebody's roster.
We keep saying pick up Brate, but you can't play him this week because they're on bye.
Right. So shocking. Anyways, so that's mine. He's a streamer play this week for me from the tight end position. Now, Washington versus New Orleans, the Monday night game. This one I've got the good is AP or Chris Thompson. I think either or can be a sufficient play. I think that AP is more of the flex spot. I think Chris Thompson's more of the running back 2 spot in PPR formats. So I think both will be successful in this game. I think New Orleans defense is still trying to figure out what happened from last year to this year. So I just think either one of these guys would be a good play for your fantasy week. So
Just keep an eye out on that ankle thing for AP.
Right.
Like we said last show, I think he'll be fine, but it's just something to keep an eye on.
True. But ultimately, either one of the running backs I think are good to play. The bad in this one, Ben Watson. And the main reason is he didn't have a very good game last week. He didn't see a whole lot of targets either.
No.
Which he had actually prior to that. Yeah. And now you've got Mark Ingram stepping in to kind of, I think, balance out the offense with Kamara.
He would come back against Washington, too. Why couldn't he come back next week or week after?
And it's at home. So I'm just saying, Ben Watson, to me, I think you might have seen the last week. Last week would probably have been the most relevant week that you could have used him now that you got Ingram back. I just think overall this is what you're sitting at. So I would sit him. If he has a great week, it's fine. I'm not expecting it based on against Washington because Washington actually plays really good against the tight end position, and Ben Watson struggled last week for targets even. So ugly, Jamison Crowder. I just think that Washington used him in the week before the bye week, and I just think that Alex Smith is getting more comfortable with him, and I think they're going to use him more frequently going forward.
I think so, too. I think you hit that right on the head. I think he's becoming more comfortable. We've seen it the last couple of weeks. Last week, Paul Richardson had a deep touchdown. Crowder was getting more involved. I think we got who's that? Who's the wide receiver? Michael Floyd.
Right.
Yep. We signed him. I mean, I don't know. I think he's getting more comfortable passing.
Right. So
New Orleans has shown they can give up the big play too.
Yeah. Right. So. And Lattimore, I think, is going to be on Doxson.
Probably.
Yep. Yeah. Crowder's going to probably be either on the outside or in the slot, moving around. So. I think that they're going to have a good opportunity he's going to have a good opportunity to get involved in this game.
I like Jordan Reed a lot in this game.
I was going to say, I almost put him as the ugly as well because New Orleans struggles against the tight end, but I couldn't figure out who to play, Jamison Crowder or Jordan Reed in this one, but I just went ahead with Crowder just because he's coming off a really good week prior to the bye week. So, and I do think that Washington is going to have to throw the ball because I think that and that's where I think that Chris Thompson has a more upside because I just think the game script, like we talked about in the last show, that I think New Orleans is going to put points on the board, or at least attempt to, and I think that with Ingram back, I think that's going to help them as well. So it could be a high-scoring game. Could be. but I'm not sure at this point. I've looked at both sides defensively, and I just think that it could be a shootout, but it also could be a low-scoring game because last week they found a way to kind of put a kibosh on Breeze. So
right.
I don't know. We'll see. So, but you get to at least watch your team on Monday Night Football this week.
I'm excited about that.
I get to watch my team on Sunday Night Football.
We got 2 primetime games. We got this one and then Thanksgiving against Dallas.
As always.
Yep.
Now, because Dallas always plays.
Always plays. We've played the last 3 years.
Right. So I know Dallas, Detroit is the other two teams.
Why do they always play Detroit on Thanksgiving? That's
I don't know.
Detroit and Dallas always seem to be on, because I went back, I think it was last year I looked, and Detroit and Dallas always seem to be on Thanksgiving, and then every once in a while you get like another team that kind of sprinkles in from time to time.
You got 3 games this year. The
Right.
first one's on CBS, then Fox, then NFL Network.
Yeah.
So it's a good day.
I like Thursday Thanksgiving football.
I do too. I just don't like it on the NFL Network
No. So
Why?
because I can't get it.
Oh.
Hey, I understand.
It's true. They like hold their exclusive rights now.
Yeah, well, I at least like the fact that I will give it to them this year that they've at least tried to add more games to the Fox and the CBS networks for the Thursday night games to try to get a little bit more viewership. But overall, I'm still trying to understand the whole Thursday night football network game.
It seems like it changes every year.
Right.
Well, 'cause, I don't know. We really want to talk business here.
Right.
But the NFL Network needs money, so they partnered up with CBS and Fox. But Fox they're willing to just show their stuff to anyone. They don't care.
Right.
NFL Network still exclusively on certain games. We're not going to show you. Like
that's
why I'm not a big fan of the NFL Network.
To me, if Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football were like on an exclusive only channel. Now, I know Monday Night Football is on ESPN, but most people probably have ESPN or ESPN Plus, something that they can stream the game in some fashion, where you literally have to purchase like a TV package to get. There's no streaming only service, as far as I know, from NFL Network, unless you get the NFL Sunday Ticket.
Sunday Ticket or certain channels have. Where you
or Amazon Prime this year.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's what I'm saying. But Prime still can't get that Thursday night game. If NFL Network have it. That's what I'm telling. That's why I've kind of been. There's a bad taste in my mouth with NFL Network. So.
Right. It makes not a whole lot of sense because, I mean, it's your primetime game. Your Thursday, your Sunday night, and your Monday night game. To me, if you're wanting the most viewership, you put it on a channel that anybody and everybody can get their hands on.
Yeah, I love NFL Network. They have a lot of quality programming, but for game purposes, everybody should be able to see the games.
Right.
Before NFL Ticket was over, I mean, all the games were like local games, but it was on Channel 7, local TV.
Right.
All the games should be to where everybody can watch.
Right.
Is what I'm getting at.
And I think that I think that the NFL Network should get rid of the NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, this is just me personally. You have your Thursday night, your Sunday night, and your Monday night game that is on local television in some fashion, or if you want to keep Monday Night Football on ESPN, because it used to be on ABC.
Yes.
Right.
So if you want to do that, to me, put it on ABC again, put it on NBC for the Sunday night game, and put either Fox or CBS for the Thursday night game, rotate them. And then if you want, on the NFL Network, make the NFL Network like a specific, like a streaming service where you can do like the NFL Red Zone, where it's literally you can pick the game you want to watch on this channel, however you want. If you want to put four different games on that channel, do that. I think you get rid of the Sunday Ticket because I think to me it's a joke. Or you make NFL Sunday Ticket be able to be a streamable only service.
Yeah,
it's just a joke that you have to do that.
I hate paying for the Sunday Ticket every year because it's super expensive, and I live in Ohio, but I got to see Washington games.
Right.
Right.
So without national televised games, I to watch them, I have to pay for that. It's the only service I can do that does it.
Right. It's just frustrating to me personally. I mean,
like I said, I just cut the cord, so
Right.
that's my issue. So that's not kind of a over here.
Oh, I
problem.
understand. So, all right. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in today's show for the podcast, as well as on the YouTube channel. Please check out our site, thehateful8ff.com. You can find our weekly in-season articles. Don't forget to check out the online store as well. You can follow our personal accounts at jpickleTH8FF, at jblackburnTH8FF, and at ftrimTH8FF. Don't forget to join the Average Donation and support the show via our Patreon tab on the site, where you can get your in-season weekly help. Anything before we go?
Nope. Just make sure to check us out on Twitter prior to the games on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll answer any questions you guys got.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll start about that 10 a.m. time frame maybe.
Help you guys win some games. That's what we do.
So thanks again. Good luck, and we will see you guys next week.
One more time. There ain't no one like these three. You know you just heard Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli. Give the goods talking about nothing but fantasy football. Yeah, it's your year to dominate and to wear that ring. Prepare for the draft and dial in on your craft. Quarterback, the first round is a good choice.
Bye.
You ask? This guy's got first round pick, a favorite.